Hi everyone, and welcome to Lake Oswego United Church of Christ. My name is Adam Erickson. I'm the Minister of Faith Development here, and I am here talking with Bill Davis. Hi, Bill.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming and talking with us today.
You're welcome.
I just wanted to ask Bill 3 questions. The first question is, what was church like for you growing up? The second question is, what does faith mean to you? And the third question is, what does this community, Lake Oswego United Church of Christ, mean to you? So, our first question, what was church like for you growing up?
Well, for me, it was like home. In fact, it was very hard to tell the difference between home and church. My parents were very, very involved in church. And so if we weren't at home, that's where we were, 4, 5, 6 days a week for something or other. If the church doors were open, we were there. So it really, truly was a home away from home. It was a very important part of my life. My parents were very active in leadership roles always, both of them. They had met at that church and married at that church, so all of my grandparents used to go to that church, my aunts and uncles, so it was really a family time, even there at church. So from a very young age, I was involved in a lot of different things and had a lot of adults as mentors and as teachers and friends even. And so it was a place where I felt safe from the very beginning. It was a place where I was allowed to experiment in leadership roles and doing things outside of just sitting listening to Sunday school lessons, although we did plenty of that as well. We were very active in our youth group, and so it was just a place where we had fun. We thought of church as fun. But we also, after each sermon on Sunday, we'd always debate the sermon in our household. We would go home for toasted cheese sandwiches, because that was before you ate out after church, and we would debate the sermons. I grew up as an American Baptist, which was a little more conservative than the UCC, but the liberal part of the Baptists. But my parents didn't believe in just hearing the sermon and not saying anything. So we would pick it apart and decide which we agreed with or what we didn't agree with and what we should use in our daily lives and that kind of thing. So right from the very beginning, we were taught to not question veracity necessarily, but to question our belief system and to find one that fit us the best, depending on our certain characteristics. So it was a great time. We always had a great time at
Your
church.
church and your family taught you critical thinking skills.
Very much, very much. Sometimes too much critical, but it was great. It was a great way to be brought up, I thought.
Well, it's unfortunate because now you go to a church where you agree with 100% of everything.
Of course I do. Of course I do.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Tell us about one of the adults at your church when you were growing up that was a model for you.
Well, probably it was 3 ministers in. The third minister I remember as a kid. And he had been a missionary in India, he and his family. And that had really a big impression on me at the time. And I thought at the time that I would become a missionary as well. But that's not what happened. But it was still, he made a huge difference in my life as far as my belief and as far as the way I thought about treating people and in the things that I thought were important in relationships.
That's cool. So what does faith mean for you today?
Well, faith is like, for me, an anchor. It's what I try to hold on to through the ups and downs of life, and we all have those. And sometimes that faith is very close to me, and I can touch it, I can feel it, I can live it easily. And sometimes that faith seems a faraway place, and sometimes I have to struggle to get there. But it's always there, and I know it's there in the back of my mind, even if I'm sometimes struggling to reach it. But it's the belief that things in the end, through God's benevolence, through God's will turn out the way God expects it to. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that will be. I don't know what that will look like. But it's that belief that good will eventually overcome evil. And it's a way to live a life of feeling more positive about things, that even when it seems kind of crazy out there, that you can see the hope and the goodness in people. And so that's what sort of faith is to me. It's an anchor, I think, is the best one.
Well, in the year and a half that I've known you, you have been one of my models.
Oh, well, thank you.
Because you just kind of exude this hopefulness. And it's something that I really appreciate about being around you. It helps me deal with, as you say, the ups and downs. Yeah. And having that modeled in you has been really profound in my life, and I know that in many of our fellow members of this church.
Thank you.
So thank you for that. That leads me to the final question. What does LOUCC mean to you?
Well, it is like my family here. Having moved from Ohio and not knowing anyone out here other than my sister, who really doesn't count, you need a family, and so this has been my family. It's the place where I have found refuge in some tough times since I've moved out here, but it's the place where I can serve as well, or hope to serve in many different ways. It's the place where I worship. It's the place where I can think critically. It's the place where my friends are now. It's a safe place. It's a place of love and acceptance and goodness. And again, that positive energy that comes with our brand of progressive Christianity, it seems so often.
Awesome. Well, Bill, thank you so much for
being
with us and spending this time with us today.
You're quite welcome. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.